Hello, I'm Jennifer Brown. There are many things that make our work at JBC unique, and one of them is our focus on building more inclusive workplaces. We found that there's a need amongst our client companies and the individuals we support for a simple competency model that describes the actual behaviors of inclusion. So in 2012, we created the JBC Inclusion Competency Model. As we've begun to utilize this model in organizations, the concepts have been well received by both the US-based and global audiences, and in some cases, built directly into the performance management and leadership systems of the companies we work with. The encouraging thing about focusing on building skills around inclusive behaviors is that everyone can build them and demonstrate them to others in the workplace. This is a tool everyone can use to harness the power of diversity in today's professional environments in order to build more innovative organizations. In this video, we will briefly describe our recommended process and tools for developing goals related to inclusion and diversity. So, let's take a closer look at the JBC Inclusion Competency Model. When individuals and teams regularly feel welcomed, valued, respected, and heard, collaboration and productivity greatly improve and in turn can generate more innovative results. As a result of inclusion, you'll feel more engaged and can effectively share your knowledge and unique perspective. Like many development models, each stage of the JBC Inclusion Competency Model has 3 levels of behaviors. Why 3 levels? Because competency in this skill set is developed over time by gaining knowledge and identifying and applying inclusive behaviors. We may be more likely to try and be successful with behaviors that fall in levels 1 and 2, rather than starting out with those that are described in level 3. In other words, you can think of it as a progression of awareness and skills that builds over time. A simple way to think about these progressing levels is to imagine the process of learning any skill or behavior. Behaviors that demonstrate awareness of inclusion and diversity, level 1 behaviors. Behaviors that reflect the value of inclusion and diversity, level 2 behaviors. And behaviors that demonstrate the impact of inclusion and diversity, level 3 behaviors. Remember, we may be exhibiting behaviors in all 3 levels in certain situations or environments. Keep in mind, we usually need to do some initial work to regularly demonstrate the behaviors at each level. When we juxtapose the elements of our model, welcomed, valued, respected, and heard, with the competency levels, we have a simple template that lists the behaviors down the left-hand column, and then across the top we have a column for each of the 3 levels of behavior. In other words, each box corresponds to 1 key element and 1 level of behavior. We at JBC have developed an extensive toolkit to help you develop competencies in each of these areas regardless of where you are in terms of your own development. Here is a sampling of some behaviors that demonstrate awareness. Show the value of them and the impact. When we recall our behavior, we often do so from the perspective of our intentions. In reality, we don't always demonstrate the behaviors in a way that has the impact we intend, or demonstrate these behaviors as often as we think we do. So in other words, our intent and impact do not align. Behaviors are the key to aligning your intent with the resulting impact. Obtaining feedback to validate that you are having the impact you intended helps you select which behaviors are needed. As you put these concepts into practice, we always recommend validating your self-assessment and the impact of your behaviors by doing things like review development conversations you've had with your manager, or ask a few coworkers regarding which behaviors you demonstrate and don't demonstrate on a regular basis. For example, get specific feedback on a situation to determine if your intent and impact were aligned. We hope this brief introduction to the JBC Inclusion Competency Model has given you some practical, easy ways to think about your role in demonstrating inclusive behaviors, whatever your organization or professional environment. Thank you for watching.